Hello and welcome to Beyond American Shores, where Japanese toys are seen and heard. And welcome to Power Rangers Samurai Zord Month! Every week in March, I'll be taking a look at the various Zords and Zord combinations from Power Rangers Samurai. With that said, for the first week of Power Rangers Samurai Zord Month, I'll be taking a look at the last 3 Zord vehicles from the show, as I have the Shark Zord, Light Zord, and Octo Sword. So for this month, I will not show the package for each Zord because there's lots to go through with each one. And there will also be final verdicts. Let's get started with the Shark Zord. In Power Rangers Samurai, the Shark Zord first appeared in the 1-hour TV movie Clash of the Red Rangers, or as I like to call it, Power Rangers Samurai vs. 1 RPM Ranger. The original version of the Shark Zord was called Kyoryu Origami, or Dinosaur Origami in Shinkenger. In the show, both unlocked a new form. In Shinkenger, it unlocks the Hyper form, while in Samurai, it unlocks the Shark Attack mode. It would have been interesting if this was released as a weapon as well. However, they decided to make the Zord the same size as the other Zord vehicles. The detail on the Shark Zord is actually pretty good. Now, this does not look like the Zord from the show. I wonder why. You can detach the fin and tail of the Shark Zord. That's better. They can actually be used as weapons for the 4-inch Samurai figures. It doesn't have any articulation, however it does have wheels and it rolls really well. The Shark Zord comes with a figure of the Red Ranger in Shark Attack Mega Mode, with a detachable helmet that can ride on the Shark Zord. There is a button that you can press that extends the neck of the Shark Zord. Also, there are connection joints that you can connect to other Zord vehicles like the Beetle Zord and Swordfish Zord. There is one combination for this Zord used in the show, and it uses the Samurai Megazord. First, take the helmet off the Samurai Megazord. Next, detach the Shark Zord's front legs and attach both of them together to create a new helmet. Finally, pull out the peg from the Shark Zord that can be attached to the Megazord. Attach the new helmet to the Megazord, and now here we have the Samurai Shark Megazord. This looks awesome and does look accurate to the one in the show. Final verdict on the Shark Zord. I give it a good. Next up is the Light Zord. The Light Zord is the Gold Ranger's final Zord and weapon for the series. Much like the Shark Zord, it first appeared in Clash of the Red Rangers. However, it brings some errors in continuity, as the Light Zord and the Super Samurai mode were introduced in Super Samurai. The Light Zord is supposed to resemble a paper lantern. A lot of detail is there. The arms could use some paint, but then again, for one of the transformations, it makes sense not to have lots of paint on the arms. It does have some articulation. Its arms and head can rotate 360 degrees, and the feet can move a bit. The Light Zord has 3 different modes. First one, as you can see, is the Light Megazord, even though it's not the same size as a Megazord. The second one is the Weapon mode. To turn the Light Zord into the Weapon mode, first, take off both of the arms and attach both of the arms together. Finally, detach both legs and reattach them using a connector port that's inside each leg. Here we have the Weapon mode, which is a paper lantern and sword. This looks a little too small to be a deluxe weapon. However, the cool thing is that this weapon can be used by the Samurai Megazords, even though the Megazords never used it in the show. It's still nice that the Megazords now have an additional weapon. To transform the Light Zord into its third form, in Weapon mode, turn the head back. Next, detach both arms and attach each arm to a connector port on each leg. Turn the arms upside down and pull out each arm. And here we have a Spider Zord? When pictures of this toy were introduced, people were confused if this could transform into the Weapon mode or not, and stick with the Spider Zord. Well, now it can transform into all 3. The Spider Zord does look really nice, and of course, looks like a spider. It does have wheels on it and rolls around pretty good. This This also comes with a figure of the Gold Ranger in Super Mega Mode that can ride on the Spider Zord. Okay, have you seen this form of the Gold Ranger in the show at all? No. But it is nice that we do have a figure of this form, even though we might not be able to see it until there is a crossover with the next series, Power Rangers Megaforce. This toy is pretty good. It's interesting that the Light Zord was brought over to the Zord Vehicle system and not into the Megazord line, like its Sentai counterpart Daigoyo from Shinkenger. It's also cool that it's a weapon for the Megazords instead of being a roleplay toy. Final verdict on the Light Zord. I give it a maybe good. Now it's time for the final Zord vehicle. The Octo Sword. The first of the Gold Ranger's Zords is the Octo Sword. In Shinkenger, this is known as the Ika Origami, or Squid Origami. I can see why they named it the Octo Sword. Out of all the Zords in the Samurai line, this was the hardest one that I had to find. The detail on the Zord looks really good all around. Originally, it has a purple disc that can be attached behind its head. Now it's just a piece of purple plastic with a wheel on it. Seeing how it is a Zord vehicle, you can fold down the bottom tentacles, and when you push the wheel, the tentacles move. This vehicle comes with a figure of the Gold Ranger in Mega Mode that can ride on the Zord. Now, this Zord has 3 different combinations. 2 of them I will look at today. The first combination is with the Samurai Megazord. To get this combination, take the Octozord apart and you will be left with 3 parts. First, attach the Octozord head using a peg on the side of the Turtle Zord and pull the top forward. Next, take the middle piece and fold the top piece inward so that it's on top of the round piece. Next, pull out the connector ports on the back of the Samurai Megazord and attach the middle piece to the back of the Samurai Megazord. Finally, for the bottom piece, pull a peg underneath the tentacle legs and attach the legs to the arm of the Ape Zord. Here we have the Octo Spear Megazord. This combination was only used a few times. The Samurai Megazord now has a spear and a shield. This mode is very show accurate, though the articulation is limited by the legs attached to the back of the Megazord. Now, you're probably wondering about the Claw Zord combination with the Octozord. That combination I'm going to save for next week. Now, for the third combination for the Octozord, we will need the Samurai Battle Wing. To start, take apart the Octozord like you would for the Octospear Megazord combination. Next, take the middle piece and pull each leg down. Pull the toes up to reveal pegs that can be inserted into the bottom piece. Both will become the base of this new combination. Next, we will need the Samurai Battle Wing. First, detach the tail and reattach it to the Swordfish Sword. Next, take the head of the Battle Wing, detach the crown and head, and reattach the head to the Beetle Zord. Next, detach the Tiger Zord head underneath the Battle Wing, and turn all the legs of the Tiger Zord forward. Next, attach the Battle Wing to the base. Next, connect the Octozord head to the Battle Wing using the connector where the Battle Wing head was and a connector port in the mouth of the Octozord. Finally, attach the crown to the Tiger Zord and attach the head to the base. Now, here we have the Samurai Battle Wing Cannon. This does look really cool. This combination is usually used with the Claw Armor Megazord. However, I think this version is a little too small for the Claw Armor Megazord. It's more in scale of the Samurai Megazords on their own. This Zord is awesome. This actually has a lot of detail and a lot of playability to it. With one Zord, you have 3 different combinations that you can do, which is pretty cool. Final verdict on the Octozord. I give it a good. Well, that's it for today's episode of Beyond American Shores, but Power Rangers Samurai Zord Month continues, as we learn next week that lobsters can be your friends. I'm the Tokutor Reviewer, and see you guys next time. Reviewer out!